Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fiery-ass episode of the Men's Physique Show. I got my boys, my brothers, hailing from the down under. You know him as the Australian voice of Men's Physique, Avon. Our brother, Phil Naselli, let's go, baby. And out of Thailand, riding on top of elephants, jumping off with knees and elbows, doing the Muay Thai dance on that ass. Our boy, McGravy, always wavy, the culture himself, the heartbeat of Men's Physique, Art McGrath. Let's go.
Let's go, McGravy.
And it's your boy, the Gaffer, hailing out of Hotlanta, Aleem Bolton, IBB Pro. Happy to be here. Man, we've got so many freaking shows going on. What a start to the season. It's like Lions, Tigers, and Bears on mine. What we got, Hart?
Crazy weekend.
Crazy, Phil. Phil's crazy.
Phil, what's going on this weekend? How many shows do we have? Because everyone thought there was only 3 shows, and then you come out of nowhere, and what'd you present to us?
I'm telling you, there was one show that went under wraps. No one even spoke about it. There was no promotion. No one was talking about it. Over there in Brazil, they kept a tight lid on that one. The Muscle Contest Nordmaste. And I'm telling you, it's got 3 big names, I should say, on that roster, which we're going to dive into very, very shortly. But how are you feeling about it? 4 names. There you go. See? It just keeps, it's like Oprah. There's another one and another one. Another one.
You get a big name. You get a big name.
Everywhere. But let's dive into it, Hart. Let's get those shows. Let's get these shows underway.
Ooh, the Physique League is heating up. Wow.
Let's talk about this as I move all my screens around to adjust everything. Let's see if I can get this. Here we go. Let's start off with the first show. There's 4 shows this weekend. Let's talk about the very first one. This is the one Physique League is covering. A lot of votes are in. Pick your top 3 this week. I need all 3. Don't just put one guy in there, your favorite. All the guys are tagged for this show. Let's talk about the 2026 Puerto Rico Pro. And really, I see 2 names on this list. I also have some photos that I'll pull up of the Puerto Rico Pro, which will help us out kind of visually see what's going on. But there's 2 names on this list battling for first. And then we'll maybe think about a third one who could be top 3. But really it's between George Brown and Dan Ibrahim. And in the comments, a lot of people have Dan. A lot of people have George Brown. These 2 guys right here, we have the veteran in the league, George Brown, been around 10 plus years, multi-time Olympian. And then we have Dan. Dan, the man with so much potential with his physique. The only issue he's really needed to work on was posing. Gaff, I'll throw it over to you first. If you had to pick George Brown or Dan Ibrahim, who's winning the 2026 Puerto Rico Pro?
I would say that George Brown would win if Dan poses like he did before and doesn't open up in the front pose. I think that Dan closes himself up, so George Brown has a really nice front pose. Absolutely veteran, polished with that front pose. When they turn to the back, I mean, Dan is lights out. No one's beating, no one on this roster is probably going to beat Dan when he turns to the back.
Can we talk about that latest update by Dan?
Oh my gosh, show it, brother. Wow. Impressive.
He's coming to win, that's what I'm telling you.
Look at the
back
tape.
Is nasty.
Right? Look at the detail in the back, the thickness, pause. And, my concern is looking at this right now. Of course, it's a video, so we're not able to see as clear as it possibly could be. But when I look down below, pause, I see a little bit of water. He doesn't look as conditioned as I would hope him to look going into the show right now. He doesn't look as tight like an Ali Bilal, let's say. But the guy's muscle bellies are just so bonkers. It's hard to deny him. So if he poses good in the front pose and opens up more, the back he doesn't have to worry about. He's gonna win the show for sure. But if he comes in closed, I think George Brown has an opportunity to win. What do you think, Phil?
Phil, do you think this is a better front shot? Because on stage, we saw him do 2 hands on the waist and we saw him do 2 hands off the waist. This is the first time I've seen 1 hand on the waist. Is he more opened up? What do you think?
Personally, I like the one hand on hip, to be honest with you. I feel like, I don't know if it's the length of his arm, but they kind of just dangle there. They don't, it just almost looks uncomfortable when he has them both off his hip. But just having one on hip and one off hip, I feel like he looks a lot more comfortable in this shot alone. Now, I know what you said, Gaffer, like he's holding a little bit of water, which, hopefully he's able to pull it off in the next couple of weeks, next couple of days, I should say. But
Yeah,
what
he
I
will.
love about this matchup is it's almost like a David versus Goliath matchup. We've got mass up against aesthetics. And like we were talking about earlier, Gaffer, it's going to come down to what the judges like on the day. Do they want the mass? Do they like the streamline, the more aesthetic George Brown? Because one thing that we know is George Brown is going to come in shape. He's going to come absolutely dialed. We saw it at the Charlotte Pro a couple of weeks back. My eyes, and I know a lot of other eyes, were drawn to George Brown just purely because of how shredded and dialed that guy was. Now, he's up against, like I said, a completely different mismatch right now up against Dan Ibrahim. Now, if George Brown brings that look, we know he's a damn good poser. We know that he knows how to show off that physique. He's got the experience. 45, I think he's years old. To have a physique like that at that age, showing the younger guys up, it's very, very hard to go against him at this show. Like I said, it's going to come down to what the judges prefer on the day. Do they want the size? Do they want to see the mass monster? Do they want the aesthetics? It's going to make it very, very interesting for the Physique League guys, that's for sure.
What do you see, Hart?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's, Phil, just like you said, it's the mass, it's the freakiness, it's the muscle bellies versus the experience and the wisdom and the polishedness of George Brown. So if Dan Ibrahim can take a little bit of that knowledge from George and apply that this weekend, I know Dan has been working with just about everyone to fix that front pose and probably fix the back pose a little bit and to just make these tiny adjustments, because it's so hard and it can be so frustrating for us because we love Dan's physique so much. It's such a dominant physique, and for him to just be placing where he is outside of the top 3 because of posing, it's like, damn, bro, like, so many guys wish they were in your position with muscle. So I know we're all rooting for Dan. We really hope he makes those adjustments. But the battle this weekend at the Puerto Rico Pro is between George Brown and Dan Ibrahim. Now, Gaffa, I'm going to throw it over to you. If someone were to place third, I'm looking at 2 guys down here that have the possibility of doing that. There's also Quincy Whittington, who's making his return back to the stage. Go ahead. What you guys got?
Quincy, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him before, so but I like.
Never seen him.
No, I like the physique right here. I mean, it looks good, the lighting and everything. I mean, you got to take all that into consideration, right? Yeah. Can you pull up something from him? Nice. Oh, okay. Yeah, nice front shot. He's got a nice physique in the front. What's his? Okay, there it is. Yeah, I think he's got a good physique for sure. I think Alex is a little bit tighter in terms of like the size, the look, and everything, but you never know until the guys are up there. Yeah, I just want to see his. Yeah, there we go. Similar styled physiques where they've got that men's physique look. Where the clavicle is wide. They have really good thick muscle, small waist, both of them. It really comes down to that back pose and how do they pose? How polished are they on the stage? That's really what's going to do. I've seen Alex before pose. I like his flow. I like his style. Where he lacked is the back. And let's see, it looks good, but he's leaning back a lot. You're seeing some wrinkles on the lower back. Guys like Dan Ibrahim, they're going to stand upright with their back in that back shot. Good physique for sure, but still needs some improvement, I believe, in my humble opinion, in order to take him to the next level with the posing. But we're going to see. We're going to see this weekend.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Yeah, I'm glad you pulled up Alex because, I mean, we obviously had the pleasure of speaking to him a little bit earlier in the year before the Arnold. And, man, the guy's a really, really cool guy. And, he's got a really good physique. Like, this guy's going to come in absolutely grainy. In terms of the conditioning, like, I saw a story that he uploaded. If you go a couple more stories forward, Hart, he has a comparison of where he was, I think it was last year, before one of his shows, and where he is at the moment in the obliques. His obliques are a lot more dialed in. Now, I'm not sure if the show that he uploaded was a show that he had won, but one thing's for sure, like I said, this guy is dialed in. I'm not sure that's the one, Hart. I'm not sure who he's worked with, but he does look damn. He said it himself. Taper is crispy. So, I mean, once
I
he
got
fills
Alex
up,
in third, or possibly second, depending on how his posing is and how his tan looks and all like that. But wow, sorry, guys.
I got a dark horse for you, boys. I got a dark horse doing this show because I was really looking at this roster.
Who is it? Who is it?
How about my boy Jones over here?
Yeah, I did see a few.
Doesn't this look like an animated photo, like an AI photo? That's real.
That's what I was going to say. That guy looks, he's solid, Pause.
Let me show you.
He's big.
Let me show you this monster of a human being right here. K Jones, aka Ken Jones, has a tremendous physique. It's wild to see. Let's go to one of these reels here. Can that not be your third place right here? What do y'all think of this muscle?
Bro, I think he might be too big for the division with the arms. I think the arms are just a little too big for men's physique. We've seen people get deducted in the past, like Andre Dayu and all. Now, granted, the league has kind of widened their view on size, but I think he's got a great physique. Obviously, if you're just looking at a physique for men's physique division, I think that the biceps and the triceps overpowered the shoulders. At least when he had the two hands on hip, he's going to need to cover that up and keep his arms at a neutral grip angle so that you see them kind of like sideways, almost not side like this, but like front on, as if he was standing sideways. But it's your arm, so that it just makes the arm look a little bit more tapered and a little bit thinner. But he's got some huge biceps. Obviously, he's a hyper grower when it comes to arms. That's for sure.
I would love to see him side by side with Dan Ibrahim, because obviously Dan Ibrahim is renowned to, well, not renowned, but a lot of people think he's too big for the division. So to see those two guys side by side, I mean, I know one thing's for sure, and there's not going to be much flaw for the rest of the guys if these guys are on stage at the same time. But man, like when I saw this photo for the first time, I thought, man, this guy it almost looks edited. And you could almost, use that as a action figure toy. Mattel, just take an imprint of that and put that in your 3D printer and, get a couple of those out and put them on shelves before Christmas this year. But man, he could be a dark horse. I mean, looking at these top six, or these six right here, man, it's anyone's game. Like, obviously everyone's eyes get drawn to George and Dan, but man, it's going to come down to who shows up on the day. Like Alex Pedron in that photo looks amazing as well. Who's the guy on the top right, Hart, that's standing with the Superman pose? Yes,
I actually feel bad for this guy because I just saw recently that his Instagram got deleted, so he started a new account. This is IFBB Pro. I want to say Xavier Jaime Canales, out of Puerto Rico. I think that's a Puerto Rican flag. This could also be a third place. There's a lot of guys in the hunt. I think after George Brown and Dan,
he's got a nice physique, bro. He's brought his physique up. Wow, from that picture.
This is all he has, though.
I was going to say that Superman pose that he's got right there. That Superman pose. It's I don't like that pose with him at that size. It's just not enough in the shoulders and the clavicle in order to pull that off the way it probably needs to be pulled off, like a Ryan Terry or Andre Ferguson or many others. But
he's a master.
He's obviously put on some size, and he's shredded. His back looks great.
All I'm saying is, Horde, let's show this guy some love. Go ahead to his Instagram page. Let's get his followers back up, because I mean, obviously deserves more credit. The fact that his Instagram page got taken down, he's obviously starting from scratch again. He obviously wants to put his name out there, and not only just to show himself as a men's physique competitor, but also for sponsorships and all that sort of stuff. And we know how important the followers and all that sort of stuff is for sponsors to look at. But yeah, so guys, go ahead to his Instagram page, show him some love. Tell him that the Men's Physique Show sent you.
So let's move on. We got 3 more shows to cover. That's your guys. That's the Men's Physique Show's picks for the top 3. Who's gunning for their first title? Drop in the comments below who you guys think. Head over to Physique League. Let's go over to the Wasatch Warrior down in Salt Lake City, Utah. Possibly, I'm not going to confirm it, but the GAFA may be boots on the ground here. Phil Avon, I'll start out with you first. Now, I want you to explain to the Horde community, and the Horde community is the men's physique fans as a whole, as an army. We are the Horde. Now, what does the Horde have to look forward to when you just take a look at this roster? What just happened? What just went down?
Man, what an interview we just had. You know, the guy from India, the guy that's on the top of that list right there, Amit Agre. Man, what a guy. You know, the adversity that this guy had to overcome, the resilience, just the mindset and the mentality that this guy has. You know, there's a lot that we dived into in that interview. We talked about life. We talked about bodybuilding. We talked about obstacles. The guy is full of wisdom. The episode is full of gems. It's definitely an episode that you want to check out. You know, he's not new to the scene, but he's new to the US scene. He's qualified for the Olympia twice, which a lot of people didn't know. And obviously there were some visa complications which didn't allow him to jump on that stage. But now the guy is in the States. He's shown us how good of an athlete he is. You know, he's competed at the Charlotte Pro. He competed at the Tri-City. He's competing this weekend at Wasatch. There is some news that he could do a couple more shows while he's in the States. But man, let's talk about his physique, because this guy has such a high ceiling. The potential that this guy has, he's shown us in the last 3 weeks alone. He's gone up against some titans of the industry. He's gone up against Carlos Ocran. He's gone up against Emmanuel Hunter. He's going up against, Carlos again. So this guy has stamped his authority in the US scene. I don't even know if a lot of people know this, but this guy actually got his pro card and then competed in his first pro show a couple of hours later. And I don't know if Alex wants to hear this again, but he actually beat Alex Toplin in his first ever show, beating an Olympian, a multi-time Olympian at his first attempt. Now, what a resume that is to go into your first, like we spoke to Tyler Smith a couple of weeks back. And one thing that really stood out was a lot of athletes aspire to get their pro card and they win all these shows. And all of a sudden, when you go into that pro league, a lot of people don't even win their first pro show. This guy was able to do it on the same day, edging out an Olympian. Now, this guy has gotten better and better and better every single week. His posing is absolutely flawless. His stage presence is damn near perfect. Like the improvements that this guy has made, he came in a lot fuller this week. And his tan was amazing. His sheen was so much better. This guy is just getting better and better and better every single week. You can tell how hyped I am about Amit Agre, but Gaff, I'm going to flip it over to you, man, because I know you've got a bit to say about him as well.
Can't say anything else because you took the words right out of my mouth, bro. Everything you said was right on, all wise, right, and exact. I mean, it was just laser. The guy is a humble guy as well. And with all the praise that we can give him about his physique and his stage presence, he as a person, his personality, his character is even better. And his commitment to positive energy, to being the very best and evolving constantly to become the very, very, very best version of Amit Agre that he can possibly be is why he is part of the Horde and he's one of the Horde members. So I've seen him up close and personal, as we all know. We've seen the videos. He's now a near and dear friend to us, to the show. And let me just tell you something. He is one of the guys that you want to watch over the next few years, because the trajectory is on a rocket ship level incline. Onward and upward is how this guy is going. So, Hart, what do you think? What are you seeing? Is Carlos going to really be able to edge this out? What do you think?
If Carlos, Ocran, and Neil Yoda slip at all, Amit Agre and Cuts are going to take this show. Mm-hmm. That's all I have to say. The battle in Utah, the battle in Salt Lake City at the Wasatch Warrior is between these two guys. Again. Now that Emmanuel Hunter isn't competing, because that has also been the guy who's been placing top 2 next to Ocran. We saw that battle. Aleem, the Gaffa, was boots on the ground. Now it's Amit Agre's chance to make history and defeat a top. There has never been a men's physique Indian pro to beat a top 10 men's physique athlete in the world. And that is Carlos Ocran, placing 8th a year or 2 ago. If Amit Agre wins this weekend, it is history. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go out and celebrate and drink a bunch of beer and scream India and Amit Agre's name. This show this weekend is the one to watch because of Amit Agre and Carlos Ocran. What do you guys think about this matchup?
I love it, man. I think you have the battle of the front and the battle of the back. You know, Amit has that front. He's got the look. He's got, a flow to his physique. And then you've got Carlos. When he turns to the back, very few guys can even come close to competing with him when it's time to face the curtain. And he's gotten much better with his posing. Notice how Carlos now sticks the poses. There's not a lot of movement. He used to move a lot. Now he hits the shot, like flexes, moves on. Look how like the back just goes crazy. And Amit has a great back. He has a good, but you're talking tier 1 level, Super Saiyan type back when it comes to Carlos. Carlos is just on another level. The legs, everything goes crazy. I mean, the conditioning, if his conditioning looks like this or better, because it could possibly be even better, guys, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to beat him. A lot of shows, they say, are one from the back. They truly are. The front, Amit, especially with those striations in the chest and everything, he talked about some of the different exercises that he does in order to develop this type of physique. You got to check out the interview when we drop that. And then Carlos, my God, man, that ghost back pose that he does, that's what it's called, is just so freaking amazing when he goes back and flares the hands like this and then turns around. Look at this. It's just boom. And then he just blossoms and he poses right in the front now. Notice how his arms just sit on the lats, where Ibrahim, as we were talking about, makes himself look smaller. Make yourself big, bro. You got the size. So that's my impression of it. What do you think, Phil? What you got?
I was just going to touch on Carlos for a second because, man, this guy is, I mean, obviously we've spoken about Amit for the last couple of minutes, but we're going to talk about Carlos because obviously, what he did the last couple of weeks, he lost to E-Man, then beat E-Man. He got tighter and tighter and tighter as the weeks went on. And now, he's got one foot on that plane to Vegas. He's going to be on cloud 9 going into this one. He knows that this is his show to lose. And like you said, Hart, if Neil Yoda Hill and him and Carlos misses by just the smallest bit, all of a sudden now you've missed an opportunity. Now you got to go again the week after if that's the goal. Carlos has just trained with Neil Yoda Hill and Brandon Hendrickson. I don't know if you guys saw the last couple of hours. They just got now. What Brandon, I mean, I'm sure Brandon would have given him some pointers and say, okay, this is what you got to do and fix this up and tweak this, whatnot. Even the mental side of things, we know how locked in Brandon Hendrickson is, 365 days a year. If there's one man that you want to learn from in terms of the mentality side of things, it is Brandon Hendrickson. And what better man to have on your team? I mean, look at the 3 guys here. I'm not sure who the guy on the right is. On the left, sorry, I don't know if he's photobombing or if he's part of the team. But, that would probably be me if I saw these 3 guys in the gym as well. But,
that's Neil's coach, Phil.
That's Neil's coach. Makes sense. I can see why. Sorry. Anyway, let's keep going. I
love it, bro.
No other man you want, no other team or support you want around you going into this week. Anyway, Hart, what do you reckon?
By the way, boys, I think this was an older photo in the UK.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think so. When I looked, I was checking that out. I did some research earlier today, and it looked like it was actually from UK.
No, he's there. Go back.
Oh, it is? No.
Go back a couple slides. One more. You know how Brandon's doing his selfie like this? There you go. That's the one. No, he's with him.
Oh, let's go.
He's there.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the audience was wondering the same thing, Aleem. So I'm glad you brought that up, to clear everything up. Yeah.
Nice. Let's go. It's great to see these guys in the camaraderie that they have with the Neil Yoda team. You see Brandon with Ryan Clark, here with Carlos. Like, it's just dope. And of course, Corey now will be in that mix too. So very cool
what a team. What a team that Neil has. He's got Ryan Clark on his books now. He's got Corey. He's got Brandon. He's got Carlos. I wonder how many more people he's going to have on that roster. It's almost like it's almost like your top 2 coaches at the moment is going to be Cuts and Neil Yoda Hill in the men's physique division. That's for sure.
They're doing their thing, bro. Those 2 are doing their thing. Shout out to both.
Third place. If someone were to, we just talked the top 2 battle, everyone understands the top 2 battle. In the comments, it's almost like only people know the top 2 names. But bro, there's a guy I want to talk about.
You know who stands out to me right away, though? You see him? You're probably going to say the same name. Go ahead. Who are you going to say?
I don't know. I'm shining light on an up and coming, but who you have?
That's what I'm thinking.
I like Miles Mann, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing.
Into Miles a little bit.
I like Miles Mann, bro. Like he's been showing some updates and sending some updates to us, and I like the physique, bro. I like the physique. The only thing that I said is just there's a transition that he does from the front to the back, and he keeps his hand here on the hip, and I think it covers up the obliques. It doesn't really shine the light on the obliques in the side. Kind of covers it up for the judges. But man, I like the physique, bro. Small waist, very, very broad shoulders. It's going to be interesting to see him on stage. Obviously he's going to lose all that water weight down, all that water down by the Christmas tree, down by the lower lat section. And he wears manifest shorts. Come on, man. Stop playing with us.
Yeah, Miles Mann is a manifest athlete. Yep. Teammate.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And he's working with cuts. We know he's going to bring him in shape. What I mean? That's what I mean. And he's playing Pokemon. What better way to chill out leading into this show by playing Pokemon? Great game. I don't know which one this one is. I don't know if it's silver or gold, but yeah, Miles Mann, like the physique just gets better and better and better every single week. Like I've seen updates of this guy on the regular, and he's just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. I don't know what show he competed at last, but it's going to be a good battle for him. I mean, if he can push both Carlos and Amit this weekend, like what's that going to do for his confidence leading into the season? I don't know what shows he's got lined up. I don't know how many shows him and Cuss have got planned, but this guy's going to be one of those emerging talents that you want to keep your eye on throughout the 2026 season.
Agreed, 100%.
What do you think about Miles? I know you've seen a few photos, a few updates of him. Give us your take on him.
I think Miles is a very patient human being because this guy's been working in the background on his physique with cuts for so long. And I think a lot of people overlook Miles, and this is a chance for him to prove himself, to put his name on the map. This guy has supported me and supported us for years. And I'm talking about like unconditional love and support. So obviously I'm going to give that right back to him. I think he has a really clean look. I've always thought Miles Mann had a very, very clean look. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of growing and being able to have the muscle to compete next to the bigger guys. But like you guys said, the waist is there, the lines are there. And honestly, he's fairly complete in terms of like, there's nothing massively underdeveloped. It's just growing everything. So let's see if he brings enough size, through those off seasons that he's had to be competitive at the 2026 Wasatch Warrior. Again, love the physique, love the look, giving me that Ryan Terry-esque vibes with the blonde hair. Definitely rooting for Miles Mann this weekend. Would love to see him get in that top 5 and shut some people up. Let's go, Miles.
I love the detail in the back too. He's got really good detail in the back, which is fire. A lot of guys can't bring that out, and he poses right where he lets the arms sit on the lats in that back pose. And he reduces the amount of space from the lat to arm so that you don't have a wide gap like so many guys do, like they're holding on the handlebars, with their arms way up here. So it's really great to see. He controls the controllables. Love those shorts, by the way. And
they're the blue ones, right?
No, those are the purple ones, brother.
Just checking your eyesight. That's all.
Now, with this new eye I have, bro, I saw the color before it was even dyed.
Awesome, boys. That was the Wasatch Warrior. Again, 4 shows this weekend. We got 2 more that we want to talk about. I'm going to go all the way over near me. Shit,
hang on a second.
Right next door.
Hang on. I'm going to say something. I got to say something. Can you go back? Can you go back, please? Take a look at the top right corner. Is that one of our posts?
Hey.
Hang on. Is anyone picking up what I'm putting down? Is this a King Garage situation all over again?
What?
We're at.
Look, a superstar.
No. That's on you guys, because I'm up till midnight posting this shit. If you guys don't, no one notices it. Bro, no one notices it. No one sees it. Aleem, you ready to see this? You ready to get disappointed? Dude,
let me see.
Dude, how does no one see this?
Oh my God.
We're going to stop getting into pump out so many videos at like 2 a.m.
All right, we're gonna need an official spell check for now on for your captions.
We're taking applications. We're taking applications. If anyone wants to do the official spell check of the Men's Physique Show, reach out to us.
Maybe Garage will do the spell check for us.
Yeah, people love the post. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Holy shit, that is hilarious, bro. Oh, no one sees it. It's so crazy. It's like a mind F.
I mean,
yeah,
it goes so fast. As soon as you go on to it, it's gone. So,
Gaffa, let me throw it over to you. This weekend, We have the 1G China Pro, massive China Pro. There are some massive names on this list. There's 3 names that I really want to talk about. The first one, I'm going to let you have this one. Let's talk about the man of the hour. And I can't believe people aren't tagging him. We already know who it is.
Li Jinbo.
What a physique.
Li Jinbo. Okay. I could say his name 1,000 times and I get excited every time I say it. Pause. The guy's got, look at that. It looks like you're in an electrical storm with all the vascularity going on right there. It looks like lightning coming from everywhere. The striations, the graininess, the muscle development itself, the capped shoulders, got to bring those traps down a little bit, obviously, for men's physique, so he won't be flexing those. But, dude, the guy is complete. Forearms, the abs go crazy. He's one of the few guys that can actually hit a Superman pose because of, like you were just showing, the V taper. He's got such a great clavicle to waist ratio, and he's dense. This is the guy who beat Ben Quill. So think about it. This is the guy who beat Ben Quill and said, no, not in my town. You're not coming over and just thinking that you're going to just run the gauntlet here. Like I do this. I'm about this life. Multi-time Olympian Li Jinbo, phenomenal graininess, clearly works on his physique. He has the ab exercises that he does, the hanging leg raises, all that, which really show the definition when this guy contracts the abs. Impressive to be like, wow. And he's got the right flow. I like his flow to the physique. So as far as I'm concerned, I think Li Jin, he does have a little bit of a competition though. I mean, it's not going to be a walk in the park, that's for sure. Because of the second guy who I know Phil's going to take. Bring that up. Our other boy.
Who are we taking? Which boy are we talking about?
Li Xiaolong, bro.
Li Xiaolong, Phil.
Oh.
No?
Li Xiaolong, bro. That's fire.
Pull it up.
Fire.
Pull it
fire
up.
physique.
I was just in awe about Li Jinbo. I was in my head, I'm thinking
it's hard not to be.
I was gonna say, man, like this guy's like dick skin shredded.
No, bro, this guy can beat Li Jinbo. Like this guy's good. First of all, look at him as far as
he used to be classic,
physique.
bro, and he's men's physique now.
This guy is good. He is good.
It's them goddamn Asian genetics, man. I don't know what it is over there. I don't know what they're eating over there. I don't know if it's the quality of food. I don't know what
protein
the hell
rice.
Mate, I need some of that protein rice because whatever's in my cream of rice isn't doing the same thing. But man, what a physique! Like, look how tiny that waist is. The width to the back, like the flow to the physique, man.
It's a better back than Li, bro. It's probably a better back than Li.
Literally, like, man, if it's going to be a battle because if Lee's got the best front, well, maybe one of the best fronts on that stage, and this guy's got a back and a half on him, like they're going to make it hard for the judges. Like even the chest, man. Look, the posing's like flawless. Like, look at the arms, how it's man.
One of the best posers, guys.
100%.
Absolutely.
They make, you know what it is though? They make it look like an art. Like posing is an art. But a lot of people, and this is what we said with Amit just earlier, like a lot of people skip out on the posing. They'll diet and diet and diet. And, you know, their physique looks amazing. But if you can't present it to the judges the way that it needs to be presented, then you're doing yourself a disservice. This guy has, and I don't know if this is because, like when you think about it, this guy came from classic physique, and we know how, you know, when they have their posing routines and how they flow and whatnot, it's a big part of the classic criteria. But now transferring that smoothness and that flow to men's physique, it's a different ballgame now. And if he's able to present it the way that he's been presenting it, he comes in absolutely dialed. The guy's got the look, he's got the structure, he's got the flow, he's got muscle in the right areas, he's got the bubbliness in the right areas, man. He's going to make, like I said, he's going to make it hard for the judges. Hard.
I like how he does that transition from the back to the front. Man, it's such a smooth look. I mean, again, to you, what you both said, both you boys. Bubbly chest, bro, striated all the way through, and like bow, right? But here, when he does this nice lats, and those lats have come up, his back has come up since then. Like boom, boom. See how he does that step? It's just boom, boom. It's so smooth, so subtle, and the feet are perfectly placed in the right spot. That's what you want to see. Shout out, brother.
Yeah, if you go back to his feed heart. I don't know what it is, but I think the Asians and them smoking cigarettes backstage, there must be some sort of secret. To scroll down, that photo right there. Wasn't there another Chinese competitor that was smoking cigarettes?
There was. That was Zhao Zhang, I think, but that's a toothpick.
Oh, my bad. I'll take that back. It is a toothpick.
Man, if he was smoking in the back.
That's what I thought. I'm like, hang on, that's the second Chinese competitor that's smoking cigarettes backstage. Is there some sort of hack? Does it dry you out or something? Does it calm the nerves? Like, what's going on there?
I hope not.
Look at this.
Hope not either.
Look at this. He's beat the blue-haired Asian monster. He's beat I forgot who fifth place was. Zhang, very, very talented. Just barely lost. I think it was a conditioning issue, honestly, to Edvan Palmera and Kamal. Like, this guy is going to be top 3, I guarantee you, at this China Pro. This China Pro is one of the most exciting shows. But, boys, we're missing something.
Well, yeah.
We're missing someone. And that was the reason I was kind of going back. I'm trying to find who it is. I don't know if he's going to China Pro, Li Jinbo, Biran.
You're saying Karimi? He's an Olympian?
No. There's another guy that we missed. And he's been tagging me and stuff. If I pulled up his physique, you guys would be like, oh, yes, I forgot about him.
Is he tagged? Is he tagged on the bottom there?
No, he's not tagged. He's a black dude.
Go on.
I don't think he's doing Brazil.
If you go back, if you go into the China Pro post, and then you go to the tagged, and then just go to the China Pro Instagram page, he might be there. But one thing that the fans are gonna love is the production that these guys put on.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen a bodybuilding show or a Chinese bodybuilding show, or not even a Chinese bodybuilding show, the show that this Huangji put on, man, you are going to be absolutely blown away. Now, obviously the Olympia is a holy grail when it comes to the bodybuilding, but when you compare the production at the Olympia compared to what this China Pro is going to look like, it is night and day. And I think we've spoken about it earlier in the year, or even late last year. If the Olympia can just hire these guys, get them over to Vegas, get the smoke, get the LED screen with the trading card effect, it's game over. It's honestly going to be the best bodybuilding show on planet Earth.
Well, they're not scared to spend the money, Phil. And they understand that when the fans are satisfied and happy and the athletes look phenomenal, it just begets more fans coming the next year, more bodybuilders wanting to do the show, and it's just more money for everybody. So why would you not do it? And why would you not take what's obviously working, that looks phenomenal, and piggyback off of that or duplicate it somehow? So I hope that they do. I mean, I hope that the O and everyone, I mean, the Arnold UK was a little rough with the lighting and prejudging, and then they got it together in finals. Oh, there we go.
Kens. We
was
forgot
he?
about.
Oh, yes,
Kens.
bro.
Was he on the list?
The Wasatch Warrior. Yes, but his name, I don't think his name is Kens. It's Philipe. I almost forgot about this guy. Bro,
I was in a show with him before. I think it was last year. Yeah, he goes crazy.
Bro. We're talking about the Wasatch.
You just went out.
You muted yourself.
You're on mute, brother.
I muted and started talking. How about Philipe?
Yeah.
Huh? He's in Utah right now, competing this weekend at the Wasatch Warrior. This guy, if he's made the need, I think it's been a posing thing for Kens and a conditioning thing. But this guy,
I remember the posing.
He can hit a better pose. Yeah.
The posing was
last year.
Was the issue. Yeah.
2 years ago. 2 years ago at the Wasatch Warrior. I mean, the muscle's there. Look at this guy's muscle quality.
Look at the waist.
Holy shit.
It reminds me of Edvan Palmera, the way his waist is so tiny, and then it just balloons up like that at the top. It's got that Edvan Palmera vibe to it a little bit for me.
Mate, could he be a dark horse this weekend?
I don't think he's going to be big enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to be big enough against Amit and against Dan. Excuse me, not Dan. Against Amit and Carlos. Sorry about that.
He's got a good look though. He has a good look. Like, man, the abs are in. Like we said, the waist is big. The waist is small. Damn,
this was 7 days ago too.
That's what I mean.
7 days ago.
And I know, like, Zach is very good. Zach's a very, very good coach out of the UK as well. So this guy's he's not going to be playing any games with this guy here. He knows how to bring him in. He knows how to dial him in, peak him well. Zach was working with some of the best UK coaches in the UK. I think he's gone off on his own, or or from my understanding, he might have linked up with Neil Yoda Hill. Can you go on? Is he tagged there by any chance, Zach?
Man, I just while you're looking that up, his shoulder separation, his shoulder to arm separation is insane.
Yeah, can you go back to his coaching page, Hart? I'm pretty sure he might be working alongside Neil Yoda Hill. Now, if you go to the top of his page, co-founder, where's his co-founder? Up, first line. Yep. I'm pretty sure him and Neil Yoda Hill have joined forces to create this new team. And if that's the case, he's learning off the best. You know, if he's able to bring some of Neil Yoda's Hill and his knowledge to that stage,
Carlos.
all of a sudden now you've got a special team.
That's massive news. So you're telling me Brandon Hendrickson's coach, Carlos Ocran's coach, is pretty much, in a way, Philipe's coach, getting the same type of knowledge.
Exactly.
You're telling me this guy is going to be more polished coming to stage. This is my dark horse to take the show this weekend. Do not be surprised if Philipe takes it.
Wow. Yeah. Let's see. He's got a nice physique, bro. Beautiful flow.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe I forgot about him. Holy crap. People don't even know about him. Like, Physique League, no one even put him down. People don't know about these guys.
And he's competed at the O.
People do not know.
That's
right.
I
don't know what Bro, yeah, he's a multi-time Olympian, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, last name for the China Pro. We cannot forget about Felix. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yeah.
He competed at that other show where Li Jinbo and Ben Quill were competing. This guy's potential is crazy, is nuts. Gaffa, what do you think?
Already, I mean, as soon as you look, love the shoulder width. Love it. He did good too. He did. What did he come in at the show? He came in fourth, right?
I think
top five for sure.
Yeah.
Is this the guy who is he natty?
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I think people were saying that he's natural. I don't think he has it on his Instagram, but yeah, there was a huge conversation in 90, and everyone was saying he's natural.
Yeah, I remember seeing people talking about him being natural. I don't know if he is or if he isn't, but I can tell you that he's got a great physique. That's him right there. Yeah, we were talking about his pose. He poses like if he makes a couple of minor adjustments, man, this guy, because he's got the look, he's got the physique right there.
Beat Vitor Chaves.
Yeah. I'll let you feel the exact same thing,
again, brother.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, he did, and impressive physique. He has a nice back pose too when he turns to the back.
Like, do you know how hard it is to beat Vitor Germano? And this guy's just. That's what I remember we were talking about. I mean, we've followed Vitor for a while now, but I remember us talking about it and we were like, Vitor could potentially come top 3, top 2. Now, for this guy to knock him off, well, number one, imagine his confidence going into this show, knowing that he's beaten a multi-time Olympian. If he is, I mean, I know the discussion was he's been natural, but if this is the natural foundation that this guy has, imagine if he was to delve down the enhanced route. How much, we saw what happened with Dan Ibrahim and what he was able to do as a natural, and now look at him. Imagine if this guy is natural and he delves into that enhanced.
He might get too big.
Can you imagine the potential that this guy has? If he does go down that route, crazy.
Yeah. He obviously, you guys are looking at this. It's posing. It's literally posing. You can tell he's kind of fresh into the league. Front pose needs to be improved a lot. Like that left arm out. Like what is he doing with his hands? The posing, Felix, your main concern needs to be posing. We got a finger out. We got a lot of stuff going on. We're not holding poses because you have a beautiful front, bro.
Moving
you have
around.
the muscle of a front to compete against the best. Ventura doesn't look too bad. When he turned to the back needs more development and he needs to pose it better. I know the arms are super high up and whatnot, but a lot of potential. Again, a lot of potential.
That Ventura pose too, he needs to bring that arm back further so you can actually appreciate the lines on the side. You know, he's keeping his arm like on the side. You could barely see anything. Anytime you do a pose, it has to be intentional. What are you looking to show and what are you looking to hide? You know, and if the Ventura pose is a pose that you do to show your side pose, that's what it's there for. So it makes no sense to hide it with your arm being in front, being like covering your side. So you got to bring that elbow back more.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, sorry, Gaffer.
No. You go ahead, Phil.
I was going to say one more thing. I mean, in terms of like helping this guy out, because obviously our goal here is to give these guys as much help as we could possibly give them. Just when hitting those transitions, like I know that pose there needed to stick it hard and make it intentional, but don't lose those abs, man. Like when you transition, like all you've got to do is give the judges an inch and they're gonna run with it. Don't show any flaws. Hide those abs. Contract those abs when you're doing your transitions. Don't let those abs go. And even if it means like when you turn it from the back to the front, make sure they're hit before you do stick that pose. Because end of the day, when you're at this level of bodybuilding, the judges will mark you down for any little thing that they don't like.
So true.
Like there, for example.
Obviously, there's a lot to work on with Felix. Real name is Philakesi. Lot to work on.
Hey, Hart, it'd be cool if he came on ProSeek at the end of the month of April, Wednesday, the last Wednesday of April, and jumped on with us, and we were able to show him live on ProSeek's platform how to stick some of these moves, some of these poses. I think that we're going to be able to see what he brings to the table this weekend, and how much he's improved. Hopefully he has. But for the fine touch and the fine tuning, he should jump on ProSeek the end of this month and join us, the three of us, as we critique physiques live and show him what it's all about on ProSeek's platform.
For sure.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. Let's see how he does. Let's see if he's made, even if it's just a little improvement. I think we need to talk about that on Monday and give him a little bit of credit. Boys, we have one more show to cover. That is this weekend. Let's talk about men's physique news, and let's talk about the Brazilian show. Who did I throw it over to first last time?
Doesn't matter. Throw it back to Gaffer. Throw it back to Gaffer.
Phil, you found this show.
All right.
You found this show out of everyone.
You set it off.
Look at these names. Hold on. There's 3 or 4 that we got to talk about. Vitor Chaves, obviously. Victor Germano, obviously. Kaique Santos. I don't know if you guys recognize that name.
Yes.
I hope you do.
Yeah, bro, I love his posing, bro. He's like right there. He's always right there.
Beautiful.
This guy has just
shots.
a flow. More than the posing, it's the flow of the physique. He's got that men's physique flow to the physique. I've been watching him for years now, and bro, like he's right there. A couple of little minor changes.
10th in the world, by the way. He beat Vitor Chaves.
Yeah.
When? Last year? 2 years ago?
I think, yeah. 2 years ago, yeah. So he's placed just as good as Vitor Chaves. That's how he's right there.
That's how stacked this show is. Like, when you put him, Vitor, Vinicius, Victor Germano, like, we know the quality that comes out of Brazil. And this show is going to put it all on show for the world to see. Like, obviously, we got Vitor Chaves there, obviously coming off the Arnold Classic UK win. But we've seen the improvements that Vinicius has made. I don't know if you guys have seen the photo of Vinicius's back. And like I said in that reel, like this show went under the radar. No one was talking about this show. Wasatch took all the attention. The China Pro took all the attention. The Puerto Rico Pro took all the attention. Everyone was sleeping on this one. But I'm telling you, if we're looking at stacked lineups, this is the one that has the most stacked lineup this weekend, and it needs to have a little bit more attention than what the world is giving them at the moment. But yeah, if Vitor Chaves, and this is one thing that I said in the reel that I made, if Vitor Chaves brings the back that he brought in Ohio, and Vinicius brings the back that we're seeing right now, it is game on. It is anyone's game. Now, looking at the update that Vitor Chaves uploaded, he's gotten tighter. He said it himself. He is, what did he say? He said something along the lines of not perfected. There's a word that he actually used, and he summed it up perfectly. If you go to the reel that I said of him, he's shrink wrapped. He's tighter. He's more dialed in. He's leaner. Like, it's going to be a battle, man. That's all I'm saying. What did he say there? Polished. That was the word I was thinking. He is polished. Like, I don't know. I feel like this could be the best version of Vitor Chaves that we've ever seen. Gaffer, you've seen the photos, you've seen the reels, you've seen the updates leading up to this point. What are your thoughts on this show?
One of my favorite physiques in all of men's physique is the V-Taper man himself, Mr. V-Taper, VVS. You know him, Vitor Chaves. I mean, bro, his ab cage is crazy dope, and he poses so well. He is one of those guys that's what puts him in the elite status. When you look at all the boxes that need to be checked, and now that he's got a back on him, he's got like a B+ back right now. when you look at all the boxes that need to be checked, Vitor is like checking all the posing, check. The front pose, check. The back pose, check. The tan, check. The muscle bellies, check. The flow of the physique, check. The smile, the handsomeness, pause, check. He makes sure that he wears, especially lately, really good shorts that are form-fitting, that are the right colors and everything. Like that spin that he does right there in the transition from facing the curtain back to the front. I mean, I could go on. And then he's such a great dad also. Like, dude, I love Vitor. I think that you guys already know. I mean, we had him on the show. If you haven't seen that interview, you definitely want to check it out. Vitor Chaves goes crazy, bro. And if you think of men's physique, you think of wide up top, narrow waist, and then it shoots out on the sides and it gives you that X-frame look. And Vitor epitomizes that. Like, he is Mr. X-frame. So, love the look, brother. Vitor V Taper Chaves. Hart, what do you think? And who do you have winning this muscle contest?
I was actually going to say, Hart, if you're playing Physique League this week,
who are you choosing?
Who are you picking?
Who you got?
Well, we didn't do Physique League for the muscle contest, Brazil. We did the Puerto Rico Pro, but if we did the Brazilian show, Vitor Chaves, number 1 for sure. I'd probably pick Vinicius for 2 and probably Kaike for number 3. I wish we dug into Kaike a little bit more. That guy's physique is
I think Kaike, I would give it to him actually, possibly at number 2, because although we're seeing static pictures right now, and Vinicius, he goes crazy. Like, his back is super sick, bro.
No, you know what? Dive into
the posing.
Dude, this
What'd
guy,
you say, Phil?
No, I was saying, dive into Kaike.
This guy,
Yeah,
bro.
let's talk about him, bro. Love the physique.
I mean, this guy, guys, he's the real deal. I don't know if he has any new updates. Maybe something on stage.
Is his coach
Dino's coach? It looked like it.
Yeah, right.
Where do you guys see that? Where at?
In his story.
I think
his coach is Dino's coach. This guy here.
Oh yeah, so his
Fabrizio.
back is probably much improved. Is that his back right? Yeah.
Here he is at the Tampa Pro 2025. Perfect shape for men's physique. Again, this was a year ago, 8 months ago. Hopefully the chest is a little bit more improved.
Yeah.
But the shape.
That's what the judges had said too from this show. I remember they said his chest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But beautiful abs, beautiful flow to the physique. This is men's physique. Very, very aesthetic. Really.
See how he does the Ventura pose, Hart? You see how he keeps the arm back so you can appreciate all the lines in the side? Doesn't cover it up.
Actually has a pretty big back.
Look how small his waist is. From the rear, his waist is tiny.
You could take a wedding ring and put it on his waist, and he could probably do the hula hoop. That's how small the waist is. It's crazy.
I mean, he's right where he belongs with these guys. Dude, the most stacked show this weekend is the Brazil show, by far. Mm-hmm. By far, this is the most stacked show. Gosh, I don't know who's winning this, guys. Damn. I really want to find out who's winning this show.
I think Vitor is going to win it and just punch his ticket. I mean, he's got the hype, he's got the momentum, but if you're being unbiased and you don't know that he just won the Arnold UK, yeah, you might be going with Kaike.
What's this, Phil? Explain yourself.
What's this? This, I was at the gym and I saw this. I'm like, hang on a second. I got to put my jumper back on. I got to get in the car. I've got to talk about this because, man, I think you said, Hart, you saw it, but you weren't sure why Vinicius uploaded this. And obviously now it's all been revealed why. But the detail in this back, like the width on the back, the density on the back, like how tiny that waist is. Like, this is one of the most detailed backs I've ever seen. Like, you could literally see every single separation in that back. Like, is this not going to be one of the best backs on that Brazilian stage this weekend? I definitely think it is. And like I said, like if Vitor brings the back that we saw in Ohio and this guy brings this back, obviously that was 3 days out or 4 days out. He's obviously going to get tighter and tighter and tighter as the week goes on. But all I'm saying is like these two guys, I know obviously Vitor is going to be the favorite going into this show, but this guy's going to be right at his tail. This guy's going to make it hard to Vitor. This guy's going to push Vitor every single second that they're both on that stage. And, the judges have got their work cut out for him. I don't know. I think this might be Tamer's show, Grundy's.
Yeah.
I think I'm guessing he may be one of the head judges at this show. So if he is, I mean, he's got his work cut out for him, that's for sure.
I don't know if you could be the promoter and the judge.
Oh, no, you can't.
No. Yeah, it's a conflict of interest. But he, I saw him on the plane flying out there. Not physically, but in his post, yeah.
Vinicius Mateus, Kaike, Vitor Chaves. Was there one more name on that list? Victor Germano. Last guy to talk about of the night is Victor Germano. This guy always brings the heat. Man, if he can come in conditioned, which has been his issue, this guy, again, Brazil has so many hitters. Latest updates, Victor Germano. How many great backs are doing this show?
That's what I mean.
Everyone brought their back up, bro.
I'm telling you, April is the month of the backs. I'm calling it. Every show that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, the backs on that stage, on all the stages, have just gotten better and better and better. Like I said, this is testament to that. Now, Vitor Germano brings it back like this. Vitor, Vinicius, Gaffer, give us your thoughts.
As long as he brings those arms down when he does this back pose and doesn't keep them like right up here, like a desk, like that. I mean, it looks good, but when it looks good by itself, but when you stand up against other guys, then you just see emptiness, and it's really going to showcase the difference in size. That's when size starts to matter. If you've got your arms up here and everyone else is bigger and they have their arms down, they just look more complete. And you can have a beautiful back, but again, in the comparisons, you're going to lose. So hopefully he brings the arms down a little bit, let them rest on the lats, bring the forearms in, bring the hands in, and really start removing a lot of that space between the lats and the arms. But the detail is there. The conditioning is there, and this is days out. So he still is going to be, getting drier and drier. And today's Thursday. So tomorrow they'll start carbon up tomorrow, and everything's just going to fill out and press up against the skin. He should look really, really impressive by Saturday.
Have you guys noticed something about Vitor with these check-in photos or videos? Victor, sorry. Have you noticed something different
about his check-in photos?
Oh, the video. He's not hitting the Superman pose. He typically hits the Superman pose, but now he's going one hand on hip by the looks of it.
It's a better pose for him. I think we were talking about the Superman pose on the show when he was hitting that. And
he needs to learn how to do this way.
Yeah. So it looks like he might be trying something out or trying something new this weekend by the looks of it.
Flare that right arm a little bit more. That's a nice shot.
Yeah, he's changed it completely. Because normally he's straight on.
Arm out more. I wonder, with so many guys doing that Ali Bilal, oblique shot. I wonder if because the judges have said that they're going to deduct for putting your arms up like that and doing that pose. I wonder if they're going to enforce that. Brazil, they might not. Brazil, out of the States, you can get away with a lot more. China, India, you can give more of a show. But I wonder if they're going to deduct here in the States for that.
What's your thoughts on this front pose? I'm just curious about it, because obviously you've followed Victor for a very long time now. You've obviously known his posing style. You've seen the Superman pose, the front on pose, 2 hands on hip. Now we're seeing this variation of it. What are your thoughts?
It's so funny. I was thinking the other day, man, I rarely try to critique or help or actually distinguish what's going wrong. I rarely do. I don't even think about it. But when I actually do try to do it, there's so much that I would change. There's so much that I would do. The X-Man. This is not an X-Man. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to do George Brown. What Omar Ventura taught me 4 years ago. If you're going to do the X-Man, cross not at your fists, cross at your lower forearms. Actually show the X and have your body in the position of your front pose. He's still a little too square for me. That's the first thing I would do for him. That's not an X-Man. What are we doing here? And then his feet should already be where they need to be, and they weren't. And now he's adjusting it. I really like that he's starting to do the one hand on the hip, because I think that just fits him better. He doesn't have the tiny waist. He's really wide in the back, but that doesn't mean you should do the Superman pose. Like, you got to have a really tiny waist and be really wide. Victor Germano doesn't have a tiny waist, but he is really wide. So I'm glad he's trying this adjustment here. That's what I would say for the front pose. Those would be the first things you need to change. Again, the X-Man, that's not an X-Man. That's an NPC X-Man. You know what I'm saying? And then with his Ventura step, a lot of guys do the Ventura step wrong. Watch when he does this Ventura step. Boom, it's his variation. He steps back, which is a cool one.
Drew Cullen does that.
Drew Cullen does it, but a lot of guys notice that front leg, it's pointed at the head judge. Like, he's not angling the body. He's standing sideways. He doesn't need to stand sideways. He needs to stand at a 45-degree angle, because again, there's the judges on his left or right, I don't know which side, aren't seeing his obliques. Just the very front judges. All the judges need to be able to see his obliques. Very interesting, Aleem. I don't know if the judges are going to take away from that, especially in Brazil. But it's crazy what Ali Bilal did from the back. Let's see the back. I don't mind all that. He has a crazy back. Again, it gets narrow. I like that. That
That's
looks
nice,
cool.
yeah.
But then the arms, they're just
Way
so
too high.
high.
Yeah.
They're so high. What do we do? And he almost gets away with it because his back is just so thick and wide, but he should have the best back on the stage this weekend. But if he puts his arms like that, he's not going to have the best back on stage. From the front, let's watch his feet. I don't mind that. Push down, he stays wide, comes back up. I'm looking at his
Burn
feet.
down a little bit, yeah.
Footwork. Sloppy turnaround to me, honestly. Again, X-frame isn't there. Got his feet in a good position. See how he's like shrinking down? There's just a lot of little things that I think Victor Germano could work on.
Yeah, the point that you just made about him going narrow and making himself smaller only to come back bigger, it's just, I agree 100%. It's not the look. You never want to look small on stage. You always want to look wide. You always want to look big. You know, when you shrink down, it's like you're bursting the judge's bubble. Like, damn, I thought, you were right. Damn, pop, you got to stay wide and you got to stay big and you got to stand tall. Don't crunch, don't slouch over, don't bring your arms in, like you do it and you do it wide out like this, where your elbows are flared out, to your point, Hart, when it comes to that X-Man George Brown pose, or Garoje, King Garoje, as he's now known as, right? But dude, you nailed that assessment to the T. Great job, Hart. Great job.
And the last thing, just to touch on how we just heard Amit Agre pose when you're off the stage, like you're in front of the head judge every single time you pose. How did he just finish? I feel like I'm digging into Germano only because I love this guy and I want him to succeed. But how did he just end this? I don't know if you guys just saw.
Lazy. It wasn't
lazy. He did a half-ass bow and ran out of breath and walked out of there. Is that how you're going to do it on stage? Because that's exactly what you just practiced.
You got to practice like it's game time,
exactly,
all the time, so that when it's in game time, it's like it's nothing, right? Practice has always got to be harder than what it is to be on stage. So when you get on stage, it's easy. Like, that's any sport. That's anything. And Amit Agre talked about that in the interview.
Facts.
That wraps another episode. That was beautiful, boys. Horde. We have 4 pro shows this weekend. We will be back Monday with a recap of all 4 shows, as well as a very special interview on Tuesday. I can't tell you guys who it is, but there will be a build-up on Instagram. Stay on the lookout for that. But 4 pro shows recapped on Monday. I'm going to throw it over to the captain, Horde, Avomp himself, to finish this thing.
Guys, you heard it there first. Massive interview happening next week. And the only way that you're going to be notified about it is if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. The Horde community continues to grow each and every single day, each and every single week. And if you're not on the Horde train, you're just going to be left out and left behind. We don't want that. We want the Horde team to grow as a team all the way up until the Olympia and beyond. So guys, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tap the bell icon so you're one of the first to be notified every single time an episode of OTS or an exclusive interview goes live. And trust me, we have a lot in the works throughout 2026. You don't want to miss any of them. While you're there, like this video, drop a comment down below. Let us know who you want to see on the channel. What athletes do you want us to interview moving forward? Do you have your favorite athlete? leave a comment down below, and who knows, we could make that your 2026 reality. Also, make sure to take a screenshot of your screen, QR code in the top right corner, upload it to your IG account, tag the Men's Physique Show official, Hart McGrath, Aline Bolton, Philipe Nassali. We'll reshare that to our pages. And last but not least, a special thank you to the guys powering the show, Manifest Board Shorts, Physique Fitness, Physique. Speaking of Physique, we have something really, really cool happening at the end of the month. You do not want to miss this one, especially if you are a Men's Physique athlete. You're going to want to jump on that one.
Last Wednesday of April.
Last Wednesday of April. Make sure to keep tabs on our IG stories. We're going to upload all the information there as well. Huge Supplements, Kippy, Dr. Campbell over there at the Center of Wellness, and Pain Care. All their discount codes and links will be in the description below. And other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of your morning, your night, your evening, whatever time you're watching this one. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.